Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Days after that vicious attack here in Greektown, 2 are now behind bars, and Chief Craig explains why more officers were not out here.
All right, Jermont, also a frantic manhunt comes to a deadly ending. We'll have more on what we've learned now about who helped catch the so-called Facebook killer.
A pregnant woman pulled from the Detroit River, and now the hero officers are sharing their story.
Well, she told me she loved me, and I told her, I love you too, or else I wouldn't be in here with you.
Well, thanks for being with us for the News at 5. It really took a village to help get that pregnant woman to shore safely.
And that village included heroic officers who jumped in, people who were on shore, even the J.W. Westcott mail boat. They all came together late last night to help save her life when she fell into freezing cold water. Coco McAvoy live tonight, and it is a nice, happy ending to see here, Coco.
Devin and Kimberly, a very happy ending, and there's more than one hero to this story. We're talking about Good Samaritans and first responders all working together to save that woman and her baby.
But she was definitely fighting for her life.
Cell phone video shows the dramatic scene. First responders rescuing a pregnant woman after she fell into the river.
It seemed like she was fading out, like she had hypothermia.
At that point, Officer Brian Gadwell jumped into the cold water, holding the woman up with his legs.
I thought I was going to die, you want to be honest with you. I was like, I'm gone.
Then his partner, Officer Stephen Rouser, immediately acted.
He's going in, I'm going in type thing. And we were just lucky that, especially the people that were initially there, that they were able to, help her up, because without them, I think she would have drowned for sure.
Mariners from the J.W. Westcott saw and heard what was happening.
So they came running over and asked, is there anything we can do? We said, yeah, bring your boat over.
So Joe Buchanan and Ryan Gazdecki threw out a life ring.
It wasn't even a second thought at all. I just knew what I had to do right away.
The second thoughts didn't come until after the rescue.
And I started getting into my emotions, like, man, I could have died, and what would happen to my kids,
All of them putting their lives on the line for a woman in distress.
Yeah, I don't think I'll forget this.
Neither will the woman and her now newborn baby, alive and well after a terrifying fall.
She told me she loved me, and I told her, I love you too, or else I wouldn't be in here with you.
And the Detroit Police Department is now planning to give those 2 officers a life-saving medal. Reporting live this afternoon, I'm Coco McAvoy, Local 4.
I guess, Coco, the question that would be on a lot of people's minds is how the woman got into the water.
Right, and so that's still under investigation at this time. Officers, they're not sure how the woman got into the water.
Yeah.
They just got the call that she was in the water, and then when they arrived, they of course saved her. And then after that, she immediately went into a C-section and delivered a healthy baby.
And there's quite a story to tell for that baby, the rest of that baby's life, that's for sure. All right, Coco.
Okay, now to brand new information and to this brawl over the weekend in Greektown. Today, Chief Craig announced 2 arrests in the case, and he says detectives know who the others are. Jermont Terry is live in Greektown tonight. And Jermont, the chief also talked about concerns over the police response to that fight as well.
Yes, Kimberly, so many people were wondering where the officers were when this attack happened here on Greektown over the weekend. Now, Chief Craig said that just right before this happened, those officers that normally patrol here were dispatched to shots fired right around the corner. And in that process, that's when this attack took place here in Greektown. And tonight, police have extra patrols in this area, and they also found and arrested 2 people for what happened here.
The brawl in Greektown left so many concerned and worried. It clearly shows a group of men kicking and beating a guy who at one point appeared lifeless at the corner of St. Antoine and Monroe in the heart of Greektown.
We don't believe there's any gang relationship at all. Just foolishness.
Foolishness that left Chief Craig furious, which forces detectives to find 2 and this group already.
2 of the most violent in this incident are in custody.
Chief Craig insisting the 2 you see kicking the victim as he was lying motionless are the ones behind bars. He adds everyone involved in the street beating is from Inkster.
So you think you can come to the city of Detroit, obviously you don't pay attention to the news. You don't get to come in Detroit and engage in that kind of behavior. And so we have eyes everywhere.
But it was cell phone video that captured the attack and good images. And Chief Craig is disturbed that more people opted to record than use their cell phones to call for help or, better yet, step in.
You're busy trying to get, as you point out, World Star video, the most views on Facebook Live. It's ridiculous. And yes, the footage does help us in many instances when we get it. But I would rather your moral compass kicks in.
Whether cameras encouraged the suspects in this beating, Chief Craig calls this act cowardly, nothing more.
Now, Chief Craig insisting that they know who the other 6 people are that was in that video, and they're asking for them, the people from Inkster, to turn themselves in. We should point out the victim in this attack has seen some improvements since Sunday, and he continues to recover at the hospital. For now, reporting live in Greektown, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
Okay, Jermont. Well, after heightened alerts in 4 states, including here in Michigan, the manhunt for Steve Stevens is finally over.
Stevens wanted for randomly killing a man walking down a street in Cleveland and then posting video of him doing it to Facebook. But he took his own life after being spotted this morning in Pennsylvania. Karen Drew here with how they were finally able to catch up with him. Karen.
A frightening morning for so many people after an almost 48-hour manhunt. This street here in Erie, Pennsylvania was the end of the road for Steve Stevens. That's where police got the tip that investigators nationwide were hoping for.
That tip came when Stevens was spotted, his white Ford Fusion, at an Erie area McDonald's.
There was a short pursuit in which the vehicle was stopped. As the officers approached that vehicle, Steve Stevens took his own life. We are grateful to the people that gave this tip to the Pennsylvania State Police. We're grateful that this has ended.
Police wanted to capture Stevens alive because there are still so many unanswered questions. Sunday, Stevens shot and killed Robert Godwin Sr. as the 74-year-old walked home from an Easter meal. Family says he was just collecting cans on that walk home when Stevens killed him at point-blank range and posted the video of him doing it to Facebook. Since then, Facebook has been facing mounting criticism over its live and streaming services.
Meantime, at a conference today, Zuckerberg said Facebook has a responsibility to make sure the site is not a tool for spreading video of violent acts like what Stevens did. Back to you.
All right, Karen. Search continues this afternoon for 2 men wanted in a crime spree across Detroit.
It all started about 11:30 Monday night when a man was shot in the back as his gray Dodge Charger was stolen. About 20 minutes later, 3 men in the same Dodge Charger pulled up and shot another victim. Police eventually tracked down the car and chased it until the Charger crashed at the Goodyear Auto Center on East Grand Boulevard. One of the 3 suspects has been arrested. The 2 victims are in serious and stable condition. Tonight, State Senator Bert Johnson is free on $10,000 bond after being formally charged in federal court.
U.S. attorneys say Johnson had a no-show employee on his Senate staff payroll, which meant that he ended up bilking the state for more than $23,000, according to the charges. Jason Colthorpe was in court for today's hearing, and Jason, Johnson's attorneys say they've got a strong defense. They believe they've got a real case against this.
They really do, Devin. For one, they say they can prove this employee, Glennis Thornton, actually did the work. And 2, they say she's just not credible. Remember, she was caught up in the DPS kickback scandal. And they say when she got busted, to save her own skin, she rolled on Bert Johnson.
State Senator Bert Johnson pleading not guilty today in federal court to theft charges. After his plea, Johnson was photoed and fingerprinted. On his way out of court, Johnson said nothing, but his attorney, Cyril Hall, did.
Mr. Johnson was not involved at all with anything that had to do with the school board.
He's referring to Glennis Thornton, a former vendor to Detroit Public Schools convicted in the kickback scandal, and a Johnson family friend who was on his state Senate payroll. It's alleged Johnson borrowed money from her and paid it back with a job for work she never did. And when she got busted for the kickbacks, she threw prosecutors a bone.
You think she made all this up to try and get a lesser sentence?
I do. Well, he was dragged into this particular matter by someone who it appears has sustained a conviction and needs a benefit for purposes of sentence.
Johnson's team also says it has proof Thornton did do work in that job, and if given the chance, it could have been cleared up privately.
It's an embarrassment, but he's looking forward to going to court because that's all we have left.
Now, of course, there's the question, did Johnson actually take money from Thornton as a loan? We directly asked his attorney that today and did not get an answer. As for court dates, nothing's set in stone yet, but State Senator Johnson will be back in the Senate tomorrow. Reporting live downtown, Jason Coulthard, Local 4.
All right, Jason, we'll stay on it. Good news if you're a college sports fan. Detroit is going to host 7 future NCAA championship events. Between 2020 and 2022, the city's going to host championships in 6 different sports. In 2020, Detroit will host the fencing and bowling championships, along with the Frozen Four at Little Caesars Arena. In 2021, Detroit will host the first 2 rounds of the greatest sports event of them all, March Madness, and the Division II Women's Golf Championships. And then in 2022, the Men's College Wrestling and Division II Golf Championships will be coming to Detroit as well. That's a lot. All announced.
What an honor, though.
Pretty great. Yeah. Nice. Wayne State's new baseball stadium, speaking of sports, named after former Tigers broadcaster Ernie Harwell, officially opened today.
Harwell Field sits right across from the football stadium on Wayne State's campus. The stadium cost more than $1 million and took about 1 full year to build. Some Tigers greats were also there to take it all in.
Be able to come back and be able to see something that, past my lifetime, people are going to be able to come, kids and parents and grandparents and generations will be able to come down here and see and remember Ernie Harwell.
Well, the school's director of athletics spearheaded the project to honor Harwell, who, as you know, spent 42 years as a play-by-play announcer for the Tigers before he passed away in 2010 at the age of 92. Great way to honor him, too.
And I don't think he'd believe it. Ernie would not believe it to see that stadium. That's really fantastic. Flint's mayor making a critical decision in the wake of the water crisis.
The recommendation she made today about where the city's water will come from, that signals a huge change.
Also, a horrible prank with deadly consequences. Ahead at 5, charges announced in a suicide that took the life of a young boy. Here's Ben.
Devin, we got high clouds that are on their way in here. Temperatures still on the very comfortable side of things tonight. Tomorrow, things change. We'll check that out in a few minutes. Hey, Doc.
Hey, Ben. Progress is being made in the fight against food allergies. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Coming up, I'll show you the new research that could soon make life easier for some people living with food allergies, or maybe even prevent them from ever developing in the first place.
Tonight, new at 6.
Detroiters becoming victims of crime just by paying their water bill. That's what's happening after a break-in at a place you might not expect. At 6 o'clock, we'll hear from someone whose personal information is now in the wrong hands.
Plus, the trash has to go somewhere. But this landfill in Oakland County has become a problem for businesses nearby. Hear how the odor is affecting everyday life. Coming up new at 6.
All day here on Local 4, we're focusing on living with food allergies, a growing problem that millions of people have to cope with every day.
You're right, and food allergies can range from uncomfortable to deadly. That's why preventing and, if necessary, reducing their severity is so critical. So Dr. Frank McGeorge is here with an update on both those fronts, Doc.
Exactly, Devin and Kimberly. Just think about it. Milk, eggs, peanuts, tree nuts, shellfish. The list goes on and on. These are common foods that many people are allergic to. Fortunately, though, research into managing food allergies has accelerated, and there is progress to report. Dr. Haejin Kim is an allergist at Henry Ford Hospital. She has personal experience with peanut allergies.
I'm someone who's, used to avoiding it my whole life. I have a son with peanut allergy as well, so right now it's just avoidance and carrying your EpiPens. But it can be isolating for some parents and also for some kids.
But she sees hope on the horizon.
It's called Viaskin or Viaskin. It is a little patch that has dried peanut powder on it. They kind of electrospray it onto there, and it's worn on the skin at rotating sites.
She says current clinical trials have been promising.
It's very promising. So to enter the trial, you actually had to have peanut allergy. They wore them for a full year, and by the end of the trial, about half of them were able to tolerate about a gram of peanut protein powder, which is about half a teaspoon of peanut butter, or 5 peanuts. So at 1 year, there's about half of them. At about 3 years, I think it was like 80% could tolerate a peanut challenge at the end. So I think what we don't know is how long that tolerance lasts once you stop wearing the patch.
The same company is also developing desensitizing patches for milk and egg allergies, although those clinical trials aren't as far along, which leads to the old saying that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Early introduction of everything is probably the best thing to do.
By giving different foods early, you allow a baby's immune system to recognize it as normal, preventing the development of allergies.
The general recommendation, anything that's age appropriate.
That means milk, eggs, fish, and peanuts early on.
That 4 to 11 month window is what we think is the most beneficial. If you try to do it like after age 1, we don't think that's gonna influence your immune system as well.
There is one important caution before introducing nuts in particular.
The infants who are higher risk, who have moderate or severe eczema, who also have a food allergy to egg, those are the ones that they're recommending actually seeing an allergist, getting a skin test.
Fortunately, reactions aren't common, and if you pass the food challenge, you're good to go. Now again, the food challenge is only necessary for small children with allergic tendencies like eczema or an egg allergy. For anybody else, just start foods early as they're appropriate.
Kim and I were just talking about this yesterday, though. When we were younger, you just didn't see, and so we're still kind of at a loss as to why this ratcheting up of all these allergies.
We had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on every field trip.
Yeah,
and
right.
you know, there's a lot of evolving theories, but certainly the idea that we had restricted peanuts in particular until kids were age 3 probably did more harm than good back in the day.
Yeah.
So now hopefully we'll see a reversal of that with time.
Fascinating.
Okay.
All right, Frank.
Thanks, Doc.
Well, we're on quite a roll. It continued today. It's lovely out there.
Nice.
Really
It's
beautiful.
Almost like Mother Nature flipped a switch and just greened the grass.
I thought you were in charge of the switch.
Well, I had a little bit to do with it. I don't want to take all the credit, but the temperature's getting warmer over the next couple days. The big question is, how much in the way of thunderstorm activity are we going to see on Wednesday and Thursday? I don't think that what's showing up on radar is going to be an impact on us. We're seeing the high clouds off of that. Everything's at about 25,000 feet right now, so that sun is sort of getting gauzed out. But generally, these showers are going to stay north of us. Clouds will get thicker overnight. Will be mostly cloudy going into tomorrow morning. In fact, you can see in Mount Clemens, not a whole lot of sunshine, but it does look like we need to clean the lens out there. 66 is where we're at right now, temperature-wise. We've got a southeast wind at 9, so that little southerly component kept these east side numbers from staying in the 50s today. In fact, you can see just about everybody in the 60s. Here's the warm stuff, and this is what a lot of us are going to tap into tomorrow. Low 70s out here in the southwest part of the state. We'll be getting that at least in parts of the area, and we'll look at that in our 4 zone here in just a second. Let's go into tomorrow, and again, there's just not a whole lot of chances, even with that frontal passage, of getting a shower or a thunderstorm around. It's a slight shot. Most of us are going to stay dry tomorrow. In fact, by the time everything flares up along this front, that front will be south of the state line, so northern parts of Ohio will likely get some thunderstorms in the evening hours tomorrow, and we should be actually clearing out temporarily because as the back end of this system starts working its way in, Wednesday night into Thursday morning, there's going to be more widespread showers and a few thunderstorms around, and it's really going to be south of this warm front where some of those could be strong. But once we get into Thursday afternoon, that's our best chance of thunderstorms. So east side locations, metro zone, south zone, we'll be looking for thunderstorms here in the afternoon and early evening, and some of those could possibly be severe. That should be it for rain chances and storm chances for the rest of the week. 54 tonight. Clouds will be on the increase, and again, we'll keep the winds light, generally out of the southeast to south. Tomorrow, showers and possible thunderstorms scattered around again. Most of the day is going to be dry, but various chances of just seeing a quick shower in a couple locations. Let's look at high temperatures tomorrow, and our metro zone numbers are going to rise to 70 degrees in most locations. Low 70s here across the east side. West Bloomfield may be the only spot in the zone that actually sees the 60s, but mid 70s down here towards the Ohio state line. 75 in Morenci, 76 in Blissfield, anywhere between upper 60s and low 70s in our west zone, and not a whole lot different north of M59. Generally similar numbers tomorrow afternoon. So we've got 2 days in the 70s, and then we kind of drop off. There's going to be a 20-degree temperature drop between Thursday and Friday, and we are going to go back below average there going into the weekend. We've taken the rain chances, though, out of Sunday, so we're looking at a dry stretch from Friday through Sunday. Should be kind of
Keep
nice.
the weekend sacrosanct.
Yeah, let's see what we can do.
Not too bad. All right, Ben, thank you.
I'm Jason Colthorpe at Hitsville, USA, and all these people here today auditioning in front of founder Berry Gordy, and they're excited, right? You guys excited? You'll meet him coming up.
All right, Jason, but first, charges in a deadly prank. Who prosecutors say is responsible for the death of this boy from up in the UP? We'll have that next.
Navigate your morning.
Welcome back. In Marquette, a 13-year-old is facing charges accused of being the mastermind of a social media prank that caused an 11-year-old to take his own life. Last month, Tyson Benz attempted suicide after the prank led him to believe that his friend killed herself. Tyson later died from his injuries. The girl believed to be behind the prank is being charged with malicious use of a telecommunications device and using a computer to commit a crime. The charges carry sentences of 6 months and 1 year in jail.
There's encouraging news this evening about a Detroit police officer hit with a shotgun blast to the face. That was when a man in the West Side house fired at officers who were investigating a burglary report. Well, the police chief gave an update this afternoon at Sinai Grace Hospital.
He has one additional surgery remaining. Both bullets that he was struck with were removed, and so they have to do some work on some oral surgery. But we anticipate a full recovery. Again, great spirits.
That's great news. Another officer recovering from a gunshot wound to his arm. Prosecutors have not yet decided if there are going to be any charges in the case.
New at 5:30.
I'm Nick Monticelli. A great story coming from the Detroit Fire Department today. Many firefighters being awarded, but one in particular getting an award for saving the life of an 8th grader long before there was even a fire.
That's all it took. What one woman said this morning in just a few sentences that sent the financial markets and retirement accounts into a tailspin.
And a big switch from the mayor in Flint regarding the switch in the water supply in that city. What she said today that took many people by surprise.
Next week, live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5:30 starts now.
Flint's mayor makes a critical recommendation in the wake of the water crisis, and she's now changing course. Today, Flint Mayor Karen Weaver recommended the city stay with the Great Lakes Water Authority instead of a new pipeline that draws water from Lake Huron.
So that reverses her decision last year when she said she'd rather the city use the pipeline. Consumer investigator Hank Winchester here. And either way it goes, Hank, it's a critical decision.
It's a huge decision, and a lot of people were waiting for this news today from the mayor. She says this decision being made not only to save money, but also to make sure the people of Flint don't have to deal with another water crisis there.
A new twist in the ongoing Flint water crisis. The mayor of Flint today making a big announcement, one that surprised many.
I am recommending that the city of Flint stay with Great Lakes Water Authority as its primary source of water.
The mayor says public health was the driving force. There are concerns that another switch to a new water supply could cause even more issues. So Flint will continue to get water from Detroit.
I maintain my commitment to making sure that the residents of Flint are informed.
The mayor says work will continue to identify harmful lead service lines, and with a new financial commitment from the state, work will really ramp up this summer. The focus will be on getting the lead out, literally, but it will take time and it will take a lot of money.
My plan is to replace lead-tainted service lines at up to 6,000 homes this year, and that the state has committed up to $97 million to investigate at least 18,000 service lines over the next 3 years.
You may remember that $97 million from the state, that all turned out because of that lawsuit that was settled actually just last month. That money already being put to use right now. Yeah. But there are thousands of service lines and so much work to do. And she's putting a rough estimate on 2019.
Because that's the question that still vexes most residents is where are we on this continuum, this long spectrum of when we can expect life to get back to something resembling normal?
Yeah, and they're making a lot of progress. The question is how much disruption, how many problems rather are going to come about from taking up those service lines? Is that going to affect the water quality moving forward?
A lot of those families are just going to continue to depend on filters, despite whether or not
filters, bottled water, until they get the all clear.
Yeah. Thank you, Hank.
Yep.
Well, some very meaningful fire awards were given out today at the Detroit Public Safety Headquarters, and one of them especially meaningful to a 13-year-old Detroiter.
A few weeks ago, Thomas Long jumped 2 stories down away from his burning home. As Nick Monticelli reports today, he got to thank a firefighter who helped him before the fire even started.
When you think about fire departments, you think about them being reactive, showing up to fires and medical emergencies when you need them. But this lieutenant is being thanked and honored for the work she did beforehand, some training she gave to that 8th grader, and he is the one who wanted to thank her today. On the 2nd floor of Detroit's public safety building, award after award handed out for work above and beyond. But for selfish, understandable reasons, Thomas Locke cared more about one in particular.
I woke up and I just saw the flames in the kitchen. There was a lot of smoke. I could barely breathe.
On March 31st, a fire started in the kitchen in Thomas's home. 5 people were inside, including his mother and her brand new baby. But Thomas was the only one trapped upstairs.
I decided to crawl on the floor and feel for the window, and then I got up and then I broke the window with my hand, which is how I got these stitches.
With support from neighbors, Thomas was able to jump out of that window to safety. But how does a 13-year-old know to close doors, crawl on the ground, and stay calm, saving himself?
Before you came to my school and showed us your presentation, I was oblivious.
That's where Lieutenant Teresa Halsell comes in. Just 1 month before, the lieutenant was at Thomas's school, Woodward Academy, giving an assembly on fire safety.
I've been that fireman at the fire, having to pull a child out of a fire, and it's the worst ever. Nobody likes to do that. So if I can do something that prevents that, that's what it's all about.
And today it is all about that. Fire Commissioner Eric Jones read a letter Thomas wrote to Lieutenant Halsell.
Although I received a lot of media attention for jumping out a window, you are the one that should be recognized.
So now,
here you go.
She is. But we have a feeling Thomas will be preaching fire safety too.
He's going to do something important. I believe he's going to do something important. So yeah, I do see that, and it does feel good.
In Detroit, Nick Monticelli, Local 4.
While Lieutenant Halsell is in the limelight today, she made a point to recognize the Detroit Fire Department as a whole, saying she's proud to work for a department that does so much more than just put out fires.
Great way of putting it. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, the city of Detroit taking a stand to improve its air quality.
Today, University of Michigan and community leaders announced a new public health action plan to try to reduce air pollution. It's a plan that lays out 10 major strategies to make that happen, including installing indoor air filters, using more public transit, and helping businesses understand their effect on the city's air.
That's part of the challenge is to let people know you're a great business. We appreciate you here. We also need to make sure that what you're doing is supporting the surrounding community and not harmful. And so that may mean you need to start monitoring air quality. It may mean that you need to sweep the streets around your facilities.
City says it hopes these improvements will result in children missing fewer days of school due to asthma and fewer sick days for adults, too.
Michigan Severe Weather Awareness Week continues.
And Ben is back with something important here that we all need to know.
Yeah, this is only a test, but don't ignore it. Use that to sort of get your ideas of what you're going to do when severe weather actually does become a problem. Tomorrow, a test tornado warning will be issued at 1 o'clock tomorrow, so your community's tornado sirens should go off. Also, if you've got a weather radio that is properly configured, you should get a tone on that weather radio again tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Even if it's cloudy or there's showers in the area, this is only a test, so use this opportunity to just think about what you would do if the weather actually turns to severe situations. By the way, to help raise awareness, the Michigan Committee for Severe Weather Awareness announced the winners of its annual poster contest today. The state capitol, 3 of the winners from Metro Detroit, and our own Paul Gross was on hand to help honor the kids. That is 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, by the way, that severe weather test. And by the way, if you have a weather radio and it doesn't go off, our weather radio campaign starts next week on Wednesday. So you'll be able to come by and get those programmed or get yourself a new one if you need.
This is a test for that too. Yeah,
that's right.
Thank you, Ben.
Well, 3 Lake Michigan beaches at the Indiana Dunes National Lakeshore are back open. That's following a chemical spill last week at the U.S. Steel plant in Indiana. The spill led wastewater containing dangerous chemicals to go into the wrong treatment plant near Lake Michigan. That closed 3 beaches, but they are back open now after water and sand samples showed little to no traces of the chemical.
Britain's prime minister shocks many in her country. Theresa May has decided to call what is known as the snap election. The decision is controversial because May's Conservative Party has a big public opinion poll lead over the opposition. An election could give her party more seats in Parliament. The news sent financial markets spinning over fears the decision for Britain to exit the European Union could be reversed if another party wins the election. Well, a big day for President Trump during a visit to Wisconsin. He signed the Buy American and Hire American order.
Buy American portion of this executive order calls for stricter enforcement of laws requiring the federal government to buy American-made products. The Hire American part of the order aims to crack down on what the administration calls abuses of government guest worker programs. While the president was signing the order, dozens of protesters stood nearby calling on him to release his tax returns. The White House says they've not been released and may never be because the president is still under audit.
I think that people are going to keep demanding it, and they're going to keep demanding it and making their voices heard on this.
Meanwhile, the president insists his election victory proves when it comes to his taxes, the American people don't care.
Facebook holds its annual developer conference.
And today, Facebook founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg introduced Facebook Spaces. This is a new virtual reality app for those who have Oculus goggles. It allows you to hang out and connect in an interactive virtual environment as if basically you were in the same room. In fact, up to 4 friends logged into their Facebook accounts can join a space where they're able to chat, draw, make video calls on Messenger, take VR selfies, and on and on.
When you become friends with someone on Facebook, your relationship gets stronger. When you join a community online, that physical community gets stronger. So augmented reality is going to help us mix the digital and the physical in all new ways.
Or your friends will have entirely new paths of driving you crazy. Facebook Spaces is launching today on beta for Oculus Rift and Touch. It can be downloaded from the Oculus Store.
As we focus on living with food allergies, one of the leading experts on this medical condition says one of the greatest challenges is that people don't take food allergies seriously.
They don't believe that this is a serious medical condition with potentially fatal consequences.
Awareness events like the Food Allergy Center Spring Luncheon tomorrow helps spotlight needs, including advocacy for people with food allergies, including labeling food in restaurants, discussing new research to identify what causes food allergies and new treatments.
There are a number of new treatments that are in development that we think within the next few years may really change the game for people with food allergies.
I'll be emceeing tomorrow's event. The money raised will support the research and programs happening at the University of Michigan Food Allergy Center, and they are definitely making some great strides there.
And just part of our all-day look at this enormous problem. Well, now a story straight out of Lassie, though this time it's the dog that fell in the well.
New here at 5:30, the adorable rescue that took an entire team of rescuers to pull off.
Also, hundreds of people at last weekend's Coachella Music Festival catch a criminal in the act. We'll show you how a bunch of amateur detectives are making national headlines.
What are the chances of becoming the next Stevie Wonder? Well, coming up, we'll tell you how, if an audition goes well for these folks today, that could be signed, sealed, and delivered.
We've got new at 6.
It's basically like I fall asleep and then I usually wake up in the hospital.
Yeah, during a recent seizure, this local 7-year-old walked out into a busy street, to his mother's horror, of course. At 6, what she's trying to do to make sure that doesn't happen again, but also how you can help.
Today he faces deportation. He came out of the shadows because he feared for his children's lives.
The evening before court, his daughter called him and said, "Dad, please do not go. They will pick you up. ICE will be there to pick you up."
Now this dad hopes he might get a second chance.
Motown the Musical is running right now at the Fisher Theater through April 30th. An amazing show, but there was real excitement for an open casting call that was held at the Motown Museum for the show in front of founder Berry Gordy.
He knows a thing or two about good music and talent. It attracted people from around the Midwest and here in Detroit, and our Jason Colthorpe was there too.
When you come to Hitsville, USA, it's easy to dream about being the next Marvin or Diana or Stevie. But for these folks here today, the opportunity is very real.
Ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low. Oh, baby, give me one more chance to show you that I love you.
We have the best talent here in Detroit. It says a lot about Detroit and about Motown, the city where, you know, it all began.
And inside, the man, the founder of Motown, Berry Gordy. And sitting in on some auditions in the very place he discovered some of the greatest artists of all time brought back some memories.
Oh, I mean, how could it not? With Michael Jackson, or with this one, or with that one.
What he's looking for today is the same as it was in 1960. Sure, talent, but more so the self-confidence for someone to be able to handle stardom.
I'm taking a kid here who's going to become popular. And the last thing I want them to do is become so popular and then, you know, go off the track or what, and popularity will do that.
Like a fool, I went and stayed too long. Feeling inside me, oh, deep inside.
Being popular is not an easy thing. You know, being a star is a very tough thing.
Especially the way Gordy did it, like Henry Ford's Assembly Line, which clearly worked, cranking out more than 50 #1 songs from 1959 to 1985.
I like that idea of taking people, moving from one stage to the next stage, and let them walk out another door, a star, and that's what my goal was. So I had different producers and different people in different rooms, producers, writers, choreographers, dancers.
So what's next? Well, if one of the folks here are lucky enough to land a spot in the show, they will join this tour in one of the upcoming cities. And from there, well, the sky's the limit. At Hitsville, USA, Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.